Okay, I think before I go any further in this video, I think your eyes might be drawn to something in the frame, so let's get the blindingly obvious out the way. Few people have mentioned it in the past, of course. It's the shoe, it's the stiletto over here. Some people have said, is this some kind of conquest item or something like that? It's actually a mobile phone holder of my wife's, just to set the record straight on that. Of course, there's this as well, the Christmas. It probably looks like I'm being a little bit preemptive. There's still a few weeks to go. I'm not decorating my desk for Christmas. My wife has set me the task today on pain of death of delivery that I will get the decorations out, so I really can't spend too much time crapping about with this video because that's the job that I've promised to do today. Right, there's two things that I want to cover in this video. They both concern these conventions. Let's deal with the first one first, and then I propose dealing with the second one after the first one. Okay, so the first one then, and it's this issue of conventions. If you recall, a lot of the issues that the Freethought bloggers brought up, and they seem to have some kind of a big an influence that belies the size of who they are on these conventions, don't they, in terms of speakers and in terms of influence in how these things are run. They are movers and shakers in this thing, and it seems to me that one of the problems they had with these conventions is the assertion that some people perhaps wouldn't be feeling welcomed there. And if that is true, then that is a legitimate concern. But how hypocritical that in addressing that, the way they go about their business, well, I can only speak from my personal experience, but the good thing about personal experience is, as I've learned, that you can't dismiss it. It's grounds of sheer arrogance to dismiss it. So let me tell you my personal feelings on this, which is that I personally wouldn't feel welcome at one of these conventions, and that if I otherwise would want to go to one of these things, that would be enough to dissuade me from attending. Now, if you want to misportray me as some kind of woman-hating ogre, then you can make a case, well, we wouldn't want you to be there anyway, Jim. But that's such a gross misportrayal of the person that I actually am, that I'm not even going to contend that any longer. All I'm going to say is, if that's how you want to portray me, fuck off, quite honestly. The fact remains that there are probably quite a number of people in the United States who live in areas of the country where religiosity is high, where it isn't so easy to come out and say I'm an atheist and to just be the person that you are, that don't share the socio-political beliefs and ideologies of the people on Freethought blogs. But other than that, they are good people. And yet now we have this hypocritical situation where to attend a conference or convention for them would be out of the frying pan and into the fire. They would be going from one environment where they were unable to express the person that they are to another environment whereby if they express the person that they are, they will be treated with as much vitriol and disdain as if they did it in their own environment. Maybe that's the case at these conventions, maybe it isn't. But if it isn't, well, the situation is at least good enough as to give that idea into people's heads. It certainly has into my head, as I say. I wouldn't feel like I'd be welcome at one of these things. I can't be the only person who feels like that. Okay, so here's the second one, and this is one that's had me scratching my head for really quite a considerable time now, ever since I read it, which is this stated goal to try and equalise representation at these conventions, to try and match some ideal standard. And the ideal standard, it seems, that they've adopted, that they're trying to aim for, is 50% male and female representation, both in terms of speakers and in terms of attendees. And I really don't know what is it they're trying to match here. What is it that they're trying to represent? I certainly embrace the idea that at any kind of convention or any kind of conference or any type of exhibition, that anybody who wants to attend should feel enabled to do so and should feel that they should be welcomed when they attend. But almost any possible kind of convention or conference or exhibition I can think of, I wouldn't have an expectation of equal male and female representation. If it was a Justin Bieber concert, I wouldn't feel that the concert had failed in some aspect if 50% of the audience wasn't male. I used to go to the Clothes Show live exhibition in Birmingham, a huge exhibition every year that stemmed back a couple of decades now to when a programme called The Clothes Show used to be on the TV. The Clothes Show died a death as a programme, but the Clothes Show Live continued as an exhibition. For all I know, it might even continue till the present day. I don't know about that, but I used to be with a girlfriend at the time who was very interested in fashion and clothes, and every year we used to go to Birmingham to this Clothes Show Live exhibition. Now I can tell you from walking around that exhibition and seeing the tens of thousands of people who would be there, that 80% of the people who were there were female. I certainly didn't have a problem with that. I don't think the organisers had a problem with that. I assume that their feeling was, well, the majority of people who are interested in this in society are female, so their expectation is that the majority of attendees would be female. I presume if this was a car mechanics exhibition or a motor show, that they would probably expect the majority of attendees to be male. Not because there was any level of undercurrent of discrimination going on at the exhibition, or that hate was fueling some environment where female amateur car mechanics or car enthusiasts wouldn't be able to attend, but simply on the bald fact that more men are interested in those things, maybe for entirely cultural reasons perhaps, than women are. So this is the thing then, unless there is an equal interest in the skeptics community and in the let's say the active atheist community between men and women, why would we expect and why would we aim for a representation level that was 50% women and 50% men? That almost seems as bizarre as saying, right, we're going to have an atheist convention, let's make sure that half the people who attend believe in God. I know on my channel that about 90% of people who watch each video, even when they're doing so anonymously, so there's no bullying going on, 90% of people who watch the videos are male. Now you can make an ad hoc social argument there and say, well, you see, that's because you're a man with a channel. If you had a woman with a channel, it would be the other way around. The problem is that that really isn't the case. If you speak to female YouTubers, the Peach, for example, has a far larger channel than I do that gets far more views per video than I do, and she's called YouTuber Sausage Fest. It's exactly the same thing. Far more men watch her videos than women, but again you could make an ad hoc social explanation for that as well, couldn't you? Well, obviously more men are going to watch an attractive woman present a video than women would watch that video. So you've won in both ways if you accept that kind of explanation. My explanation is that there's just more men interested in this kind of thing for whatever reason than there are women. So why would we set a level at 50% representation? Surely if you're setting a level of 50% representation, you're actually not reflecting the community that has an interest in those things. Really be interested in what people's thoughts are in that, and why this one subject or these two subjects of atheism and skepticism we need to deal with in an entirely different way to any other kind of convention or any other kind of conference or exhibition that we might hold. Or maybe we should, maybe the Justin Bieber concert organisers should really work a lot harder, start stopping a few women coming through the door and begging and pleading for more guys to come in and watch Justin sing his shite. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. Thank you for watching this video, and bye for now.